Welcome back. We are at it again. The three of us, the three amigos, all together. IPL season and once again two matches in one day. कभी कभी मुझको ये लगता है कि जिस बिकॉज वीकेंड है ना तो हमसे काम ज्यादा कराया जा रहा है. बेचारे प्लेयर्स भी ज्यादा काम कर रहे हैं, हम भी ज्यादा काम कर रहे हैं.
देखो
And
आपने
as you can
इनवाइट किया है, मुझे पता है ऑफिस में आके फिर गाली पड़ेगी अगर हम आए नहीं, तो इसलिए आ गए. तो थैंक यू
Rajshri, did you
बोलिए.
go to no, Rajshri, did you go to work yesterday?
हाँ, हम आप दोनों से मिलकर बड़ा अच्छा लगा यार. मतलब मौसम इतना अच्छा था, दो अच्छे मैचेस हुए, नीचे जाके अच्छी से कॉफी पी हमने. बड़ा मजा आया आप लोगों से ऑफिस में मिलकर.
ओहो,
अच्छा, I like the slight remark.
आप लोगों की शक्ल भी बता रही है आप लोगों ने ऑफिस में कितना मेहनत किया.
I was celebrating the valiant effort of Delhi. I was like, we should celebrate the efforts. That's
below the belt. आप below the belt जा रही हैं यहाँ पे. वाह,
बहुत ज्यादा ही.
Being a Delhi girl, I mean, come on, Anjali.
I felt that. मुझे लगा थोड़ा सा यार, ये तो अंजलि वो not right यार. ये तो मैं समझता हूँ.
ये मैं अंजलि का रूप पहली बार देख रहा हूँ. She is normally very sweet and warm and very affable. और अचानक से दिल्ली के प्रति इतना ज्यादा. चलो ठीक है, if you're a Delhi fan, you're bound to be disappointed with what happened.
But today we have again two matches, and हम फिर से एक बार चर्चा करने वाले हैं कि which could be the dream team. कौन से वो 11 हैं जो आपकी ड्रीम टीम के पार्ट हो सकते हैं, क्या आपकी फैंटेसी. बिफोर यू चूज योर्स, लेट अस टेल यू कि हम आपको बता सकते हैं कि हम क्या सोचते हैं. एंड एज अ डिस्क्लेमर हम आपको पहले ये बता दें दैट वी आर नॉट एफिलिएटेड विद एनी fantasy sports application, and as we've been mentioning it, these team selections are completely our experts individual and their understanding of the game and their own research and their own opinion. So whatever you do, आप जो भी decision लें अपनी समझ के हिसाब से लें and not dependent on what we are telling you. So Rajshri, let me just try and find out your yes, shall we dive in? But before we dive in, I think yesterday's match is both the matches we would like to hear certainly, because you are the one जिसने actually जाकर के देखे सारे मैच. तो आपका पहले ओपिनियन थोड़ा तो ले लें.
देखिए, the first match again, Punjab, we discussed that on our show yesterday, right? They're looking strong on paper. I think that sort of came about. Sam Curran's induction, it's huge for them, right? You want to have someone like Sam Curran in your ranks. KKR, I mean, look, they lost out because of a rain truncated game. They lost some overs at the end, but also remember Mohali mein floodlight failure hua tha kal. So they lost about 25 minutes, right? So had they played those 25 minutes out, you never know where the result could have gone, because at the rain break, KKR was 7 runs behind their DLS par total. So you never know. हो सकता है वो 25 मिनट अगर KKR को मिल जाते मैच कैसे पलटता. लेकिन कल आंद्रे रसल ने भी थोड़ी धमाकेदार बल्लेबाजी की इन्होंने, बट आई वाज अ लिटिल disappointed again with KKR. I mean, you're chasing 190 plus. You're sending Andre Russell at what, number 7. I somehow don't understand these tactics with these teams. You saw what Delhi also did in that innings. You're playing some serious power hitters in your lineup, and Sarfraz Khan walks in. Okay, Sarfraz Khan again, much talked about on the domestic circuit. We know he's got oodles of talent, but you need those power hitters coming in, boss. So on both perspective, I was a little disappointed, more so with Delhi's fielding effort. I mean, they started off all right, but after the first 4 or 5 overs, after the power play, their body language just withered. And kudos to Lucknow. We've discussed this on our show here, that Gujarat and Lucknow are looking stronger. And KL Rahul चल नहीं पाए, लेकिन Kyle Mayers, what a pleasant surprise he was, right?
मैंने बोला था
Expressions are changing on the screen. मैं सोची थी KKR की जब बुराइयां हो रही थी तब expressions change होंगे. यहाँ क्या हुआ भाई साइरस?
मुझे कल केएल राहुल के बारे में मैंने यही सेम चीज बोली थी. कल मुझे पता नहीं स्ट्रीम से किक आउट कर दिया गया था. इतनी क्या बुरी बात बोल दी थी मैंने, आई डोंट नो. बट this is what I meant as a captain and as a pure batsman. अगर आप उनको टीम में डाल रहे हैं, 8 रन बना उन्होंने, उसके बाद कुछ भी नहीं, and then the onus falls on the middle order and the lower order batsmen to get the runs. वो तो एक surprise था कि Kyle Myers, I've never even heard of the player, and he comes in and just whacks these bowlers all over the park and then scores a quick fire 73 of 38. तो अगर वो इनिंग्स आप माइनस कर लें तो बाकी कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस आए किससे? निकोलस पूरन एट द एंड 36 रन्स. तो मिडिल ऑर्डर आपका ज्यादा चला नहीं है. आपका जो इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर मैं वर्ड यूज नहीं करूंगा, आपका जो ओपनिंग प्लेयर था, जो मोस्ट इम्पैक्टफुल प्लेयर इन द टीम, केएल राहुल से एक्सपेक्टेशन थी, उन्होंने परफॉर्म नहीं किया. तो दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. uh, as just a captain and an aura in the team, you cannot keep stretching yourself
No.
this
But
long.
Cyrus, listen,
Yeah,
I think you're being a little unfair on KL Rahul in this perspective. Because look, I have also gone after him on certain occasions. His
Gone
strike rate
after
then
him.
why not this time?
His strike
Keep
rate is a
going.
little bit of concern, but in the IPL, his run scoring abilities पे सवाल नहीं उठने चाहिए because look, this one has won the orange cap. He's been among the leading run scorers in seasons over the last few years. Problem KL Rahul के साथ है his strike rate in T20 cricket, especially in the IPL. But Punjab, when he was with Punjab, again, he was very consistent. A
Correct.
lot of the time, you would see that, opening with Mayank Agarwal, you also had Chris Gayle in the ranks. He had obviously been demoted down the order because that Chris Gayle wasn't the Chris Gayle of the early 2000s. KL Rahul, a lot of us thought that maybe Punjab ki batting lineup was a little wafer thin at that point. That's why he was taking his time and he had to be the anchor man. But with Lucknow, the only thing that concerns me is his approach to strike rate. And not just KL Rahul, this question will focus around a lot of Indian batsmen. For instance, Virat Kohli. I don't know why people are so scared to talk about this, but Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, boss, they need to up the ante with the strike rate. I spoke about it last year, and I said that look, India need to move on beyond these two in the T20 format. बहुत गालियां पड़ी थी, which is fine. I mean, those are opinions. So that's
Yeah.
what
Achha,
the problem with KL Rahul is.
I do have a thing to ask. Wasn't there a remark somewhere about resting Rahul? Was there? I read something about resting. Even
Yeah.
if it's required,
If
I
if
will
a
rest him.
Anjali, if a player isn't performing and you want him away from the limelight, na, in the media they throw these words like resting. He
No,
needs
but
to
there
be
was
focused.
a remark somewhere about
I mean,
that there is no.
देखिए शादी करने के बाद रेस्ट चाहिए होता है. I understand, but मतलब you're playing a premier tournament, तो I don't think so. नहीं नहीं नहीं.
No, and Anjali, I don't know. I mean, हो सकता आपने पढ़ा, मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा, but IPL से क्या होता है ना, you can't really be rested. Look, a lot of talk about, oh look, these guys are resting from India, from international cricket, but IPL में सारे matches खेलने. IPL में, like Rohit Sharma said, you're owned by the franchisee, so and it's fair, right? It's fair. आप 2 महीने के लिए you're getting paid an insane amount for 2 months. So you'll be expected to be fit and ready. International cricket, mein, I don't believe you should be picking and choosing a lot of legends of the game. मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं हूँ, लेकिन बहुत सारे legends of the game have also said that look, why do you want to rest when it comes to India cricket until you've established yourself at a certain juncture? But no, KL Rahul won't be rested. Again, KL Rahul, run-wise, you look at his runs, he's a different beast. But you compare average versus strike rate, I think that's where I'll slightly start sliding towards the strike rate issue. That has to be the main focus.
But at
Okay.
least for
Chaliye,
Lucknow's sake, he better
can we
improve.
move on from KL Rahul? Because can we move on to today's match, please? ठीक है, चलिए, let's move on to the first match. And Rajeshri, I will be putting on your choices. Oh, I'm sorry, I put on the wrong one. Let me just put on your correct. This is yes. I have put on your choices, so let's go through them.
Again, see Rahul Tripathi, starting to become a real rigid T20 favorite for me. I hope to see more and more of this guy for India, at least in the T20 format. Aiden Markram, he had a bit of a lean patch, but over the last 11-12 months, dream run again. Sanju Samson, I mean, that name has created such polarization in this cricketing fraternity. मैं चाहता हूँ आके runs मारे, अच्छे से runs मारे, और राजस्थान रॉयल्स के लिए मतलब he translates his whole aura and talent into performances. Harry Brook, I mentioned him before, T20 क्रिकेट की तरह टेस्ट मैच खेलते हैं. T20 क्रिकेट किस तरह खेलेंगे फॉर अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, ये बड़ा एक्साइटिंग होगा देखने के लिए. मार्को यानसन अगेन, देखिए ऑर्डर थोड़ा सा ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है, बट अगेन रिमेंबर दिस इज फैंटेसी क्रिकेट. आप जब एब्सोल्यूट फैंटेसी क्रिकेट खेलोगे, आपको पॉइंट वाइज आपको ज्यादा फोकस करना पड़ेगा, कौन ओपन कर रहा है. ऑब्वियसली यू विल हैव दोस स्लॉट्स एज वेल ओपन एज अ मिडिल ऑर्डर के लिए. वॉशिंगटन सुंदर, मुझे देखना वो किस तरह से उभर के आए हैं, बिकॉज सच अ जेन्युइनली गुड ऑलराउंड टैलेंट. मुझे जब भी वॉशिंगटन सुंदर का नाम अभी सुनता हूं, मैं सीधा चले जाता हूं ब्रिस्बेन 2021 में, जब उन्होंने वो मैच विनिंग नॉक खेली थी. उमरान मलिक, एक्साइटिंग. कोई भी टेयर अवे फास्ट बॉलर हो इंडिया से, इंडिया के लिए खेला उन्होंने पिछले साल, लेकिन ही वाज अ लिटिल एक्सपेंसिव, बट यू नीड टू सी हाउ ही गोज. अगेन कुलदीप सेन, genuine talent, and Yuzvendra Chahal, obviously you want to risk spin in that lineup. So yeah, I think it's reflecting the young Indian talent in the bowling department, actually.
Okay, now I'll put in your sub options. Would you like to go through them?
Yeah, Riyan Parag again, talented. Some of us could be a little taken away by his antics on the field. He needs to be a little, he's still very young. He needs to be a little grounded. Maybe hit hit the peak with his potential. Murugan Ashwin, top class mystery spinner. Like to see more of him. R Ashwin in sub options. I mean, you wouldn't really want that. You'd want to see R Ashwin in your genuine lineup, but because he can also make an impact with the bat. But I think, I'd rather have someone like him come in after I'm done with my batting and bring in a specialist champion bowler like R. Ashwin. And Kartik Tyagi, again, such a genuine talent. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, you know what he's capable of doing in the T20 format. Karte kya hai, ye aage hame dekhna hai.
Okay, so I'll move on now. Why am I hitting the wrong graphics today? Okay, nothing to do with the Saturday night, let me tell you. So, okay.
It has everything to do with Saturday night. Don't lie, Anjali. It has everything to do with Saturday night. आप बस viewers को बता नहीं रही हैं कि आप ये
No.
जो हो रहा है आपसे is because of Saturday only.
I have your right graphics on the screen now, Cyrus.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer that I've put Joss Butler right up there. One of the most destructive batsmen in form. And yeah, I mean, मैं अगर ये team बनाऊं, I think 99.9% would want to keep Joss Butler in those ranks. Sanju Samson, my vice captain, again, obvious choice. He's captaining the side. He has been exceptional with his performances. So, I mean, this is one player जो इंडियन बैट्समैन को अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली है. आई रियली फील डिसहार्टेंड कि संजू सैमसन जैसा टैलेंट, डिस्पाइट द फैक्ट दैट ही हैज बीन पुटिंग ऑन परफॉर्मेंसेस, हैजंट बीन एबल टू ब्रेक इनटू द इंडिया टीम. सो एक दो परफॉर्मेंसेस के बावजूद आप उनको टीम से निकाल दे. आई नो इट्स क्राउडेड, देयर इज सो मच ऑफ इमेंस टैलेंट ऑलरेडी इन द इंडियन टीम, बट फिर भी संजू सैमसन जैसे प्लेयर्स को अगर टीम में वो चांसेस ना मिले तो थोड़ा दुख तो होता ही है. Rahul Tripathi, as Ashri mentioned, I'm looking forward to him also in the long run. Excellent player. Devdutt Padikkal, I mean, for RCB was excellent. I was surprised that why they let him go, but this is, I think, a great option for RR if they can, make the most out of his batting prowess. Mayank Agarwal was brought in to kind of fill in that gap, maybe for the missing Kane Williamson, but hopefully he performs for them. I really like his prodigious talent and the way that he has been carrying his IPL career throughout. R. Ashwin and Ryan Parag, I kind of wanted to keep all-round options in the middle order, apart from Shemner Hetmyer, who is an absolute beast when it comes to batting. तो एक ऐसे ऑप्शन जो अटैकिंग भी रहे और थोड़ा बैलेंस अप्रोच रहे ऑलराउंडर्स के साथ. आर अश्विन is a kind of a technical that card that I wanted to play क्योंकि उनकी economy rate is the true, I think, added advantage that will be given to SRH. But apart from that, Trent Bolt, my bowling option, I mean, beat pace, be it accuracy, he is the kind of bowler that you would want in your T20 team. And Jason Holder is also another batting option, but he can bowl as well. That I wanted to keep. So ये on paper बड़ी strong team है, more all-rounder friendly, more all-rounders ज़्यादातर points मेरे लिए accumulate करते हैं in these fantasy games, so which is why I've kept more of these options. In terms of my sub options, Adil Rashid and Abhishek Sharma, again more of all-rounders, but batters हैं lower down the order, they can come in and throw their bat, get quick runs. So ये options मैंने उसके लिए रखे. Yuzvendra Chahal, now this was a bit of a tricky. Yes, he's a first team option, but I wanted to keep him in the sub because batting chalte Yuzvendra Chahal doesn't bring a lot. But agar if the team bats by SRH bats first and they get RR gets the bowling option later and they have to depend on a big score, then Yuzvendra Chahal can be a wild card that can be used. Akash Vashisht, again, great, handy with the bat, comes lower down the order. Has a good strike rate, so another batting option that SRH can deploy. Baki Sandeep Sharma has experience in the IPL, been a long time, I think 29-30-year-old player who has had so much exposure in the IPL. If he can come, get that some medium pace bowling and get some quick wickets under him, another option that I can keep. So ye mere sub options hai. Again, most of them Indians, not foreign players. मैं ये जैसे IPL progress कर रहा है, मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि ज़्यादा इंडियन हेवी सब ऑप्शंस को रखूं बिकॉज़ ज़्यादातर रिप्लेसमेंट्स भी अब तक ऐसे ही हुए हैं.
ये आपने किसी पे मतलब तंज कस के और कमेंट करके बोला कि मोस्टली इंडियंस एंड नॉट, मतलब आर यू डायरेक्टिंग
नहीं,
दैट कमेंट
because
समवन?
I'm trying to following the I'm following the trend. I'm following the trend. वो भी है, हाँ, क्योंकि मतलब जब शुरुआत हुई थी, राजश्री तो was very anal with his first match कि मुझे अपने उसमें foreigners ही रखने हैं, तो मैं एक्चुअली ट्रेंड फॉलो कर रहा हूँ। बाकी मतलब राजश्री का अपना ओपिनियन है, मैं वो भी सुनना
नहीं,
चाहूंगा।
मैं आपको बताता हूँ क्यों, बिकॉज यू नो इफ यू सी अभी कुछ टाइम पे ट्रेंड चेंज होने वाला, शायद वो एक पर्सपेक्टिव आ भी रहा है कि विल teams use those foreigners as impact players, because what that's doing, you see, the impact player rule, again, it's open to interpretation. Before the first match it was still a little hazy, but now it's open to interpretation more clearly, right? That you obviously want to take the advantage of the toss away. B, you want to give more cushion to India players, more opportunity to India domestic cricketers.
Yeah.
So I think more and more teams are going to go down that path. If you look at the way things have panned out in the first three matches, you'd probably see in the future, over the next 2 months, you'll see three foreigners being played, and that one extra foreigner coming in as an impact player. So you give that extra cushion to a team to try out the domestic talent. Because आपने एक बार चार foreigners खिला लिए अपने playing 11 में, obviously you cannot bring in, you cannot substitute a foreigner with a foreigner. That means technically you're playing five foreigners on that side. So I think that trend is going to catch on in the days to come.
So
But
I do
Rashi,
have a question here.
even I had a question once. If I have four foreigners playing, so you're saying मैं अपना पांचवा foreigner अपने subs के उसमें option में रख ही नहीं सकता हूँ?
नहीं, you cannot do that.
Okay, then it
अब
just
देखिए, अब जो सब ऑप्शंस हैं, again, see, that is not to be confused with the impact player. आप five subs रख सकते हैं, but can they come in as a substitute fielder? That's different. But आप impact player को change नहीं कर सकते after you have four foreigners in your playing 11. You cannot
मेरा
bring in.
सवाल तो बहुत सिंपल है, मैं तो ये पूछना चाह रही हूँ कि shouldn't IPL be about it is a professional thing, it's not about countries, so shouldn't it just be about who plays better and whoever manages to be where they are according to their prowess and their talent?
But that's a good question, Anjali. But again, you have to understand that the Indian Premier League, right? It's the Indian Premier League, and it's been started off by India, and this has only furthered and strengthened your position in the cricket world. Now,
Yeah.
what has happened because of the IPL is, not just in India, by the way, a lot of international cricketers have gained rich experience and have gone on to do so well. Kiran Pollard, for instance, nobody had heard of Kiran Pollard in the Indian context. Then this guy comes in the 2009 Champions League, does wonderfully well, if I remember correctly, for Trinidad and Tobago. And then Mumbai Indians lap him up, and you know what a legend he went on to become in the IPL. David Warner, I think he came on with New South Wales, was it Victoria Bush Rangers? I don't remember exactly which state he played for. But again, he became a household name from the Champions League, and then he went on to Delhi to play for his first IPL franchise. It's almost like homecoming for him. So you want to give a little added advantage to these domestic cricketers here. I mean, because look at someone like Riyan Parag. So, and he's sitting with the who's and who of world cricket. So why not?
ठीक है, ओके. यू हैड, आपको कुछ बोलना था साइरस, आप कुछ बोलना चाह रहे थे शायद.
नहीं, मेरे लिए यही एक, जैसे राष्ट्रीय ने कहा, इंडियन प्लेयर्स को अपॉर्चुनिटी, आई मीन, बना ही ये इंडियन फॉर्मेट के लिए. देयर हैव बीन लॉट ऑफ अडैप्टेशंस. आई मीन, T20 क्रिकेट का जिस तरह गेम बदला है, आई एम श्योर इंडियन प्रीमियर लीग का बहुत ही इन्फ्लुएंस रहा होगा, जिस तरह T20 इंटरनेशनली भी, एंड आई एम श्योर अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड. आई सीरियसली थिंक दैट T20 को जो पॉपुलैरिटी मिली है has been because of IPL. I mean, you have the Big Bash, you have the other leagues across the world, but in terms of popularity, how has it? Everybody in the world converges in India whenever the IPL kicks off. I don't know whether popularity Big Bash को उतनी मिलती होगी या फिर any other league, but whenever the IPL is happening, everybody comes to India. आप foreign commentators को देखो, foreign players को देखो, वो अपने अभी ऐसा नहीं है कि international अभी tournaments चल रहे हैं, लेकिन फिर भी वो अपने tournaments खत्म करके इंडिया आएंगे. क्यों? क्योंकि IPL खेलना है. It's about the money, it's about the exposure, it's about that opportunity. And Indian players go
the Mecca. Now it is the Mecca of cricket. India is the Mecca of cricket now. Let's be clear about it.
Yeah, so I mean, वो opportunity.
तो अगर भारत नहीं खेल रहा है किसी भी सीरीज में, जो कि obviously unless and until it's a triangular series or whatever, that a World Cup cannot survive with unless and until India is there, or any series cannot survive unless and until India is there.
अंजलि, आई नो सर्टन प्लेयर्स, एक टीम के, एक नेशन के, जो कि नहीं खेल पा रहे हैं और दे आर एट अ बिग लॉस. मैं नाम नहीं लेना चाहूंगा ऑब्वियसली, बट
Pakistan, and which is fine. Which is fine.
ever
I
since,
completely agree.
तुम
There's
नाम
no,
क्यों नहीं लोगे? कौन सा हो गया
I'm listening.
पाकिस्तानी कोई वो दे देंगे?
Which is okay,
ever
and you cannot.
since,
लीगल
No, no,
नोटिस.
see, that's a Anjali Cyrus. That's very political, and which is fine. I'm
yeah,
not an expert as far as that is concerned,
that's why.
but I'm an Indian and I have my emotions and my sentiments, and I agree that you cannot play with Pakistan in the current
And वो
scenario, which is
रोते हैं
okay.
बैठ के,
If हाँ,
वो रोते हैं
that is their
कि
loss. That is their loss. और
या
अंजलि ना एक बहुत अच्छी पॉइंट बोली उन्होंने कि आप you looking at an ICC event without India. Go back to what happened in 2007. India crashed out of the group stages. I mean, that World Cup was a nightmare
या
for broadcasters, for the ICC, for the host organizers. 2011, India win the World Cup, the greatest World Cup of all time in terms of success and revenues. Because I know of a lot of stories. Because I mean, I can't we can't talk about a lot of them on air. But I know how those and how ecstatic people were, and India played brilliant cricket. And look at the difference between the 2007 World Cup and the 2011 World Cup. So, Anjali, that therein lies the answer to your question.
ठीक है, चलिए. आर यू ऑल रेडी कि आप लोगों ने अपनी पूरी इस मामले पे पूरी बात कह ली? ऐसा ना कहा जाए कि मुझे किक आउट कर दिया बाद में, इसलिए मैं कह रही हूँ कि ये वाला मुद्दा अगर खत्म हो चुका हो तो हम अगले मैच की तरफ बढ़ते हैं. आर यू ऑल डन? ओके, आई कैन सी हेड्स नॉडिंग इन वन डायरेक्शन. अच्छी बात है. तो आप लोगों को हमने पहले मैच के बारे में, जो दोनों एक्सपर्ट्स की ड्रीम टीम्स हैं, उनके दिमाग में जो है वो बता दिया. हम लोगों ने पिछले मैच के बारे में भी चर्चा कर ली है. तो आई एम गोइंग टू टेक अ स्मॉल पॉज हियर and thank you for joining us while to discuss the first match. I'm going to take a small pause and then we're going to move to the second match. तो चलिए आज आईपीएल के जो सेकंड मैच होने वाला है उसके बारे में चर्चा करते हैं. हम लोगों ने थोड़ी देर पहले जो बातचीत की थी उसमें हमने कल के जो मैचेस हुए थे उसके ऊपर भी चर्चा की थी. कुछ जो बातें जो हमारी एक्सपर्ट्स कहना चाह रहे थे उस पर भी चर्चा की थी, और हमने फर्स्ट मैच की भी आप लोगों से चर्चा की थी. अब डबल हेडर है तो सेकंड मैच की चर्चा करने का वक्त आ गया है. राजश्री, shall I start with you? What is your thought about your dream team? What would you say? Let's start with you while I look for your graphics to put up. Let's begin.
Yeah. So in the previous Fantasy 11, I had Abhishek Sharma as my captain, George Butler as my vice captain, and I've gone with a similar lineup now. Deval Bravis is my vice captain. I mean, like Abhishek Sharma, Deval Bravis is also relatively unheard of as compared to Surya and Josh Butler there. Surya Kumar Yadav, yes, 3 golden ducks, but again, beast.
wow.
Again, a
After
beast.
3 golden ducks, that man is still sitting on your team. Okay.
Because again different formats. Cyrus ODI again.
Yeah.
I understand. Look, but he's also not that
Even
bad.
I have him on my team. I'm just saying.
He's not bad enough there to be out
Yeah.
for 3 consecutive ducks without even putting back the ball. So I'm backing him to come back strongly in the IPL. Faf du Plessis, Virat Kohli, for me, those are going to be the 2 openers, because Rohit Sharma in the IPL has not quite ever kicked on that way. Tilak Verma, again, remember what he did last year. Very, very promising youngster. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is knocking on the India door anytime soon. Dinesh Karthik, I know, didn't play a lot after the T20 World Cup, and he was being looked at as that destroyer. Couldn't quite come off, but in the RCB colours, you'll see a lot more of him. Mahipal Lomro is a player I'm a little surprised. Not a lot of people talk about him, but he's a typical modern day T20 cricketer, and I really want to see him getting consistent chances and do consistently well. Cameron Green, again, I wouldn't say it's a no-brainer, but it's a bit of a gamble because you don't know how he's going to stick on with his bowling on these pitches. So you want to see how they come around. Jofra Archer, again, what a combination it would have been had Bumrah and Archer been bowling for MI together. Not to happen. Kumar Karthikeya, again, last year, phenomenal. We've heard stories about him, how he's come up the ranks. Such a class act already. And Mohammad Siraj is the other pacer along with Jofra. So that would make for a pretty interesting pace lineup there.
Okay, I'm putting our sub options on the screen now.
Harshal Patel, again, I quite like him as a T20 bowler. Hasn't quite been in his element over the last 2 or 3 seasons. That's something that he needs to probably work on. Very, very clever bowler though. He's very smart. He's very articulate when you hear him speak. So I like the way he thinks. Siddharth Kaul, again, another RCBian who I'm expecting to make some sort of impact, because you need good, consistent bowling from RCB to come and do it. A lot of people will raise their eyebrows and say you have Rohit Sharma as a sub option, because you never know what he can do coming in on.
No, wait,
Arjun
wait. No,
Tendulkar.
no, no, Cyrus,
Wow.
before you. No, wait. We'll give you the opportunity. Let him finish
Yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah.
I'm watching your
This is
expression.
this is about
Oh my
fantasy
God.
cricket, right? In fantasy cricket, I can have Rohit Sharma as a sub option, which is not going to ever
Right.
happen, right? So Ritik Shaukin, again, you remember what he sort of showed some sort of temperament last season. I think he has the goods to do well. And one Tendulkar, can he make his debut for Mumbai Indians?
Wow.
I'd be
Yes,
looking
he's
forward to
been
it.
garnering all the headlines. I've been reading about him. Like ये वैसे मैं एक बात बोलूं यही फिल्मों में होता है तो नेपोटिज्म कहलाता है but and also Mumbai Indians.
नहीं, फिल्मों के बारे में तो नहीं पता, लेकिन स्पोर्ट्स में तो आप नेपोटिज्म का कोई सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता ना. यू हैव टू परफॉर्म, यू गो आउट देयर, यू
We've
डोंट.
seen that earlier. This conversation has happened at least 30
Yeah.
years ago also. And some biggest greats parallelly जिनसे compare किया जाता है. His son also was there. In fact, I'd interviewed him once, Rohan Gavaskar. Once I'd interviewed him, and I found it that genuinely, he has been a victim of that whole conversation. And once again, I think ये conversation आएगी. So all eyes will be on Arjun Tendulkar. I just wish him all the best. Okay.
I again wish to see Shivnaran Chandrapal's son batting in the IPL after a couple of years, if not now, because I've seen him bat. He is a spitting image of his dad at the wickets. I mean, if you would have seen Shivnaran Chandrapal bat ever, if you see his son bat, they're exactly identical. I don't know. I mean, एक father का impression होता है अपने son.
देखो एक बात है. If talent has anything to do with genetics, okay?
I'm
Let's
sure
all
it
think
does.
about that. If it is, so I'm just saying it's a devil's advocate that I'm playing. If it has anything to do with genetics, then it probably has gotten passed on. Then who are we to stop it just to say कि नहीं, this should not happen because this is not ethically correct. So अगर genetics में आ रहा है, आपके खून में आपको वो talent मिल रहा है, तो फिर हम उसका फायदा तो उठाएंगे ही ना.
World का top athlete, one of the top athletes, Cristiano Ronaldo, is right now, I won't say at his peak, but वही आपने वो dawning career के उसमें है, उनका बेटा खेलना सीख रहा है. And again, he's a talented bloke. I've seen him play in this junior leagues. खेलता लड़का है, and I'm sure वो leagues भी खेल लेगा. तो वही मैं कह रहा हूँ, एक ग्रेट का प्लेयर अगर वो अपने स्किल, अपनी नॉलेज को अपने छोटे अपने लड़के को दे सकता है, तो आई एम श्योर वो एक एडेड एडवांटेज होता है. तो इट काइंड ऑफ वर्क्स. वी शुडंट बी that skeptical about these things, but yeah, I mean, coming back to cricket, I was surprised. आपने वो मुंबई इंडियंस के जो प्लेयर्स हैं उनके मतलब जलता हुआ कोला फेंका है सर कि रोहित शर्मा और अर्जुन तेंदुलकर को आपने सब ऑप्शंस में रखकर I don't know, मेरी आंखें एकदम से चौंक गई. ये गलत लिस्ट तो नहीं डाल दिया अंजलि ने फिर से because of Saturday.
एक सेकंड मैं जल्दी से I'll take a sneak peek into your sub options just to okay, now I'm back to
Just
your
for Mumbai Indians fans to look at, राजश्री ने आज रोहित शर्मा को सब ऑप्शंस में रखा है. एवरीवन प्लीज कमेंट बॉक्स में जाइए एंड बताइए राजश्री को ये कितना गलत है, कितना गलत है.
आप रोहित शर्मा के आईपीएल नंबर्स देख ले जाके. रोहित शर्मा के आईपीएल नंबर्स अगर देखिए, सीधा देखिए, अगेन इट्स नॉट दैट दिस टीम इज गोइंग टू गो ऑन द फील्ड एंड प्ले. आप अगर सबकॉन्शियसली ये भी सोचें कि आप फैंटेसी क्रिकेट आप फैंटेसी टीम बनाएं. आप फैंटेसी टीम्स में मेरे ख्याल से, अगेन एवरीबॉडी माइट हैव देयर ओन वे ऑफ डीलिंग विद दिस. You're looking at two things. You're looking at current performances. You're also looking to trust your instincts a little bit. That's why I had Abhishek Sharma as captain in my previous SRH RR game there, and I have Dewald Davis as वाइस कैप्टन. तो जितना परफॉर्म करते हैं कैप्टन को भी उतने एडेड इंसेंटिव्स मिलते हैं आपको. रोहित शर्मा सच बताएं T20 क्रिकेट में, ऑफ लेट T20I क्रिकेट में वर्सेस हिज परफॉर्मेंसेस फॉर मुंबई इंडियंस, जमीन आसमान का फर्क है. और मुंबई इंडियंस के लिए मुझे लगता नहीं कुछ ऐसा कुछ ब्रेक अवे सीजन विद द बैट रोहित शर्मा का आया है. एज कैप्टन दैट्स अ डिफरेंट थिंग ऑल टुगेदर, बट जस्ट विद द बैट फॉर मुंबई इंडियंस वर्सेस रोहित शर्मा द T20I बैटर फॉर इंडिया, बहुत डिफरेंस है.
I'm sure Mumbai Indian fans would have been more pleased if Rashtriya would have kept Rohit Sharma out of the team only. लेकिन उन्होंने वो सब
एक और चीज बता देता हूं मैं दुविधा में था whether I should have Virat Kohli as my sub and Rohit Sharma in the 11 or vice versa. So I finally decided on Virat Kohli there. purely because of his IPL numbers, not because of what he did last year. ज़्यादा कुछ किया नहीं था
I like
उसने।
I, I like how Rajeshri is constantly like कुछ बड़े ग्रेड्स के बारे में कोई और नहीं बोलता लेकिन मैं बोल सकता हूँ.
मैं वो दिन का इंतजार कर रहा हूँ जिस दिन राजश्री विराट कोहली का नाम सुपर सब में इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर की लिस्ट में डालेंगे. That
हो भी
will be
सकता
the
है,
day
who
that
knows?
cricket radically changes. But again, coming back to my team, I mean, I've gone with बहुत ही एक safe option my team है. Rohit Sharma, yes, I've kept Rohit Sharma on my team. Yes, IPL numbers aren't that good, but the kind of ball striking opening batsman that he is, and I mean, with tons of experience, not only as a captain, but as a player, has been brought to the Mumbai Indians side. So I would just at least not keep him in the impact player option, but मैं उनको अपनी टीम में रखना चाहूंगा. अगर परफॉर्म ना भी करे कोई बात नहीं. Surya Kumar Yadav, yes, 3 ducks, but like Rashi mentioned, a totally different format. He has been exemplary, number one T20 batsman in the world. And if you don't keep him on your 11 list, I mean, that's a loss for you. Virat Kohli, again, no-brainer. Ishan Kishan has had a couple of breaks, but hasn't really been able to translate these to big performances. तो उनका टीम में होना मेरे लाजमी था, because again एक ऐसे प्लेयर हैं जो कभी भी मैच का रुख बदल सकते हैं. तो इसलिए मैंने सोचा कि उनको जरूर टीम में रखना चाहिए. ग्लेन मैक्सवेल, ज्यादातर T20 परफॉर्मेंस उनके ज्यादातर पंजाब अपने जो परफॉर्मेंसेस उनके लिए जाने जाते हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद ज्यादातर कुछ दिखा नहीं पाए. बट स्टिल एक ऐसे प्लेयर हैं जो आकर एक ओवर में कम से कम 20-30 रन का जो पोटेंशियल टारगेट है उसको हासिल करने का एक टैलेंट रखते हैं. तो इसलिए मैंने ग्लेन मैक्सवेल को रखा नहीं. और प्लस ही इज एन ऑफ ब्रेक बॉलर, सो वो एक ऑलराउंड ऑप्शन भी आपको मिल जाता है. दिनेश कार्तिक मेन स्टे, यस, उनके परफॉर्मेंसेस पिछले कुछ अगर महीनों में कहा जाए, we haven't seen really a lot of him, but he's like a mainstay. He can come and change the shape of a game in a couple of deliveries. वो इतने हार्ड हिटिंग में भी ना हो. कोई दिनेश कार्तिक को एक टेस्ट बैट्समैन ज्यादातर देखते हैं, ओडीआई बैट्समैन देखते हैं, बट T20 के मामले में देखते नहीं है. बट आई हैव सीन दिनेश कार्तिक हिट सिक्सेस ऑफ द लास्ट बॉल टू विन इंडिया मैचेस. तो I think he's an impact player that can definitely change the shape of the game. Harshal Patel has been a bit expensive with his bowling, but again, मुझे लगता है उनको भी एक point prove करने की जरूरत है in this RCB lineup. So I'm sure he'll bring his A game forward. Baki Mohammad Siraj has been a mainstay for them. He's a good performer. इसलिए मैंने उनको अपनी टीम में रखा है. Jofra Archer, again a no-brainer. He's been speedy, he's been impactful. Economy rate उनके लिए बोलती है, and also he can throw the bat at the end of the over. तो मोटा-मोटा मेरे लिए ये टीम is important. Up the top, Faf du Plessis as a captain, as a player, अगर वो रन बनाए भी ना, ऐसा मतलब बहुत मुश्किल से मुझे सोचने को मिलता है कि फैफ के बैट से रन नहीं आएंगे, because he has been consistent in T20 format. And Cameron Green, like Rajshri mentioned, coming out for Australia, a couple of good test knocks, but T20 a very different format, plus the all-rounder option. अगर वो ball करें तो I mean team के लिए अच्छा है, but I think batting is something that he will really bring to the game. Shehbaz Ahmed, Prabhu Desai, again, all-round options that I wanted to keep on my team. Jason Behrendorff, as a bowler, I don't really know whether they will bring in on, but वही है, एक खतरा होता है अगर आप एक foreign player को अपने sub options में रखें, क्यों? Because team tactics होते हैं, they might want to play all their foreign players, their talented players in the first team, but again, this is sort of a little gamble that I'm playing with Jason Behrendorff in the sub options. Kuman Karthik, and like Rashi mentioned, again, a promising talent that I want to see. And Ramandeep Singh, batting option that lower down the order can get some quick runs. So, yeah, these are my sub options for the day. Again, I don't know whether they will be playing in the 11, but as per my analysis, as per my, again, understanding, I think this is the team that I want to keep.
Oh. Anjali, just one point, just one small point. I think the difference between these two teams that you see on your screens, for a lot of our viewers who are wondering what's going on with Rohit Sharma as a sub option, etc., etc. I think there are two different mentalities at play. Also, when these fantasy 11s are being made, I think Cyrus is just going with the perspective of me. Let me just make a good, solid dream team, which is also fine, because you see a lot of these dream teams at the end of World Cups and that you generate, which is from a very passionate perspective, and I completely get that. But then there is also the perspective of, if you are playing on a fantasy app, you're not just going with the name, you are also going with the game and what they have done in recent times, and it's also sort of a gamble. So while you're playing safe, you're mostly taking risks. That's why you have someone like Rohit Sharma in the subcategory, so that you have you can pick up someone like, say, Tilak Verma, unheard of, but his performances last year were phenomenal.
Yeah, so Rajshree's team is the one has more chances of winning. I'm not denying that because if you see my team, I actually get impactful players. Then मतलब अगर short shot bat से नहीं तो ball से जवाब दे देंगे तो एक save option होता है वो मैंने अपनी टीम में डाली. लेकिन राजश्री की जो टीम है has a more chance of winning because उनके टीम में ऐसे players हैं जो कि पॉइंट्स के मामले में फैंटेसी 11 ऐप में कम पॉइंट्स के मिलते हैं, लेकिन अगर उन्होंने परफॉर्म किया तो जो मेरे स्टैंडर्ड प्लेयर्स हैं उनसे ज्यादा पॉइंट्स हासिल कर सकते हैं. तो it's a big gamble, but it has more chances of being pulled off as a winning team. So I totally agree with Rajshri on this.
Oh wow.
But इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि आप हमेशा जीत सकते हैं Rajshri. This is not what I meant.
उसके बाद से खेलना बंद कर दिया.
I was like, Cyrus is being so nice कि हाँ मैं हार मान लेता हूँ, राजश्री सही है, and then comes the disclaimer.
देखिए अच्छा है यहाँ पे वो स्लेजिंग रूम जो पॉडकास्ट हम करते हैं ना वहाँ पे माहौल इतना गर्म रहता है, यहाँ पे वेरी फ्रेंडली. चलिए ठीक है, इट्स वेरी फ्रेंडली लाइक आई सेड ऑन द फर्स्ट डे.
Nice to have some nice and polite people around, for a change, Rajshri, especially if you are not one.
ऑफिस में मिलना है अंजलि, वापस ऑफिस में आना है मंडे को. विल बी रनिंग इनटू ईच अदर कॉन्स्टेंटली. सो
but हम लोगों के बैठने के कॉर्नर्स में sufficient distance है to get warning if somebody is coming to hit you. अरे दूर से आता हुआ नजर आ जाएगा.
I'm genetically very polite and generally very polite.
Yeah, I'm sure.
अब स्लेजिंग रूम में आइए फिर थोड़ा सा माहौल गर्म रहता है वहाँ पे, बट अदर देन दैट
नाम ही ऐसा आप लोगों के शो का स्लेजिंग रूम, तो उससे तो पता ही चल रहा है कि वहां तो स्लेज हैमर्स चल रहे होंगे.
और क्या एकदम बहुत बुलेट सफर
uncensored, मतलब no holds barred kind of.
Completely no holds barred.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
चलिए, should we just end with what your opinion is about today's chances of the two teams, Rajshri?
Look, I'll go with the second match before I come to the first, because that's the more high
First का
profile.
तो हमने बात की थी ना, नहीं की क्या मैंने first?
No, I don't think we discussed the winners.
Yeah.
Because ideally first को देखिए
We
तो
spent 22 minutes, I don't know, discussing what. So you two have to answer for that. I saw 22 minutes.
Quickly with RCB MI, I think MI, because they would be itching to bounce back. On paper, RCB always looks good, but I think they have their own issues to sort out. Too much obsession around 2 or 3 players. MI is the better team there, theoretically. Again, RR I think will have the wood over SRH in the first game.
What about you?
Different opinion. I'd put my money on RCB because again they look stronger on paper, but it's not that RCB doesn't have anything to prove. Having spent so much money, having some of the best players in their team, they haven't been able to win the championship. I mean, उनका मजाक उड़ाया जाता सोशल मीडिया में, आप देखेंगे तो, because आप ऐसी टीम्स डिविलियर्स, गेल, कोहली एंड ग्लेन मैक्सवेल अगर एक टीम में रखने के बावजूद आप इतने रन बनाने के बाद उतनी रन पिटवा देते हैं और इसके बाद बोलते हैं कि हमारी बॉलिंग वीक है, देन बोलते हैं बैटिंग नहीं चल रही, तो इतने it's been an endless streak of excuses over excuses. Despite that, they haven't been able to win. So I think yes, even they have a bigger point to prove here. तो विराट कोहली अब परेशान हो चुके हैं, वो कह रहे होंगे बस अब बहुत हो गया, I need a trophy, I need to win. तो मुझे ये चैंपियनशिप इस बार चाहिए. So I'm putting my money on, and plus I'm a Faf fan, so I like Faf du Plessis. So again, my money on RCB. And then on paper, if you look at the Rajasthan team, again, very strong, very dominant. They have some of the best players in the world. So I'd put my money on definitely Rajasthan to win this one.
What about you, Rajshri?
I mean, I'm going with MI for the second game, and Rajasthan Royals, I think will Rajasthan Royals in the first game for sure.
Okay. So that you both agree on for the first match कि Rajasthan Royals are the ones.
आपका objective लड़ाई करवाना है, मुझे पता है.
No, my objective is to just give a nice, interesting show. Everybody should be able to but of course I become bored if the both of you are on the same plane. I mean, seriously, guys. I enjoy the conversations around the match more than I enjoy matches.
What's your take? Who are you going with tonight?
Oh yeah, what's Anjali's take? We want to know.
I have no take in this. Okay, I look at matches and I'm telling you, I am one of those people who enjoys the environment of the viewing of the game and the community around it more than the game. I have never been a big fan of the game as such. And I've always
So
had people asking me, why are you not? And I'm like, the day the players became younger than I was, I
Yeah,
lost
I think
interest.
a lot of people have gone through that. Yes, I
yeah.
think so.
Why? I don't understand that. Suddenly after that, I was like, oh my God.
Anjali,
I
I
don't
know
know
we've
why.
already gone on for too long and maybe you're out of time, but I'll tell you why, because that's a very interesting thought. I've often thought of that. But look at it this way. When I was growing up, we idolized Tendulkar, Dravid as heroes. They were older.
Yeah.
So maybe when
Yeah.
you're idolizing heroes, you want them to be older than you, not the same age or maybe not younger. So probably that idolization stops, but probably the fandom still remains for the love of the game. That could be a reason. Again, I'm not a
Yes.
psychologist. I
Yes.
wouldn't.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I remember when we were in college and in the hostel, there were girls who would come with boxes of sweets and cakes on the birthdays of Tendulkar and Dravid. Dravid, especially, how big he was amongst women.
Yeah.
Dravid was so popular with women, I can't tell you. Like उसका जैम जैम
Is not
पानी का ऐड
was
आता था
is
तो हम सारे टीवी के सामने बैठ जाते थे.
Anjali is popular, not was.
मतलब अब nowadays that generation doesn't have time to watch, they are so busy with their children and everything. I think वो थोड़ा एक वो आ जाता है, change आ जाता है.
Yeah, Rahul
But
Dravid तो छोड़
no, but that's why I really I enjoy the conversations around the game. And that's why we do this show, and we want our viewers to react to what Rajeshri has said or what Cyrus has said. Do comment after this video. You will see it as on your you can come to India Today, you subscribe to India Today, and we'll be bringing this show to you every day all through the IPL. Even if one of us goes on a leave, there will be someone
which
else
will
joining us,
happen,
taking this conversation
which will
forward.
happen.
Which will happen. Rajshri, of course not. He's in love. He's in it for the love of the game. He will be there fighting till the end. Hana?
Absolutely. Yeah. And we all are. We all are. And we love doing this together, right? That's why we all love the game and that's why we're all part of this.
Okay. So bye everyone. Subscribe to India Today and keep watching us. So
Bye,
bye
take
from
care.
our side.